Welcome to the Journeymakers.
A podcast where fresh and flowing conversations happen.
Kwentuhan tayo from the everyday stories of our special guests in the world of tourism and hospitality.
Subscribe and follow our podcast page, The Journeymakers,
At Tourism Hospitality Podcast to get the latest updates on new episodes.
Hashtag Tatak PLN, hashtag tppd Group A.
The Journeymakers.
Hi, and welcome to our daily podcast. Kwentuhan tayo from the everyday stories of our special guest in the world of tourism hospitality. I'm Majoy Rodrigo, your first podcaster. And if you are like me who have many questions in life, tara, let's discover and try to answer the many questions out there. A podcast about understanding tourism in the context of global events and understanding tourism in product development. Topic 1. Today, I want to talk about impact of global events on tourism. Familiar ba itong topic na to sa inyo? Alright. Anyway, let's turn our attention to knowing what global events on tourism are. So mga ka-journey makers, global events as events of a limited duration that have global reach require significant public investments and have an impact on the population and built environment. At meron tayong positive and negative impact nito. So the following examples are the economic impact, social impact, and the environmental impact. Under economic impact, first, we will discuss the positive sides such as exposure for country, more incoming tourists, increase in investments, more jobs for locals, increase in GDP, upgrading of infrastructure, upgrading of tourist facilities, and increased foreign business. While in the negative sides, the examples are, first, event is expensive to host, no sustainable use of facilities offer event, and no sustainable jobs offer event. Under the social impact, the positive sides are, first, exposure of culture, increase international tourism, and local communities benefit and uplifted. While in negative side, the example is it will increase in crime if tourists have a bad experience and it will lead to negative word of mouth. And lastly, we have the environmental impact, and the positive sides are first, development of natural attractions and cleaning up of the environment. While in negative sides, there are increase in tourists visiting attraction can lead to damage, increase in noise pollution, and increase in litter. Ayan mga ka-journey makers, after knowing this impact of global events on tourism, dumako naman tayo to our next topic. This second topic is all about crisis management in tourism. A crisis management in the tourism sector refers to the strategic and proactive approach taken by industry stakeholders to anticipate, prepare for, respond to, and recover from unexpected events that may jeopardize the safety, travel plans, and overall satisfaction of tourists. Sa industriya ng turismo, maaring magkaroon ng mga krisis anumang sandali na nakakaapekto sa parehong mga negosyo at turista. Bilang tugon sa mga hindi maiiwasang banta, ang pamamahala sa krisis sa industriya ng turismo gumaganap ng isang mahalagang papel sa pag-iingat sa kapakanan ng mga turista at pag-track sa pagpapanatili ng mga negosyo. Next is understanding the nature of tourism industry crisis. Tourism industry crisis can take various forms, each demanding a tailored response. Natural disasters such as hurricanes, earthquakes, or tsunamis can disrupt travel plans, infrastructure, and local communities. Also, human-made crises such as terrorist attacks, civil unrest, geopolitical tensions can impact the safety and security of tourists in affected regions. At bukod pa rito, ang mga krisis na nauugnay sa kalusugan na ipinakita ng pandemic tulad ng COVID-19 ay nagpapakita ng mga natanging hamon na may malawak na implikasyon para sa pandaigdigang turismo. Next is pre-crisis planning and preparedness. So, effective crisis management begins long before a crisis occurs. The tourism industry must engage in pre-crisis planning and preparedness to mitigate potential risks and enhance responsiveness during emergencies. This involves conducting true risk assessments, identifying vulnerabilities, and establishing crisis response teams with clear roles and responsibilities. Ang matatag na mga plano sa komunikasyon ay mahalaga upang may palaganap ang tumpak at napapanahong impormasyon sa mga turista, empleyado at pangkalahatang publiko na bumuo ng transparency at tiwala. Next is the crisis response and communication. When a crisis strikes, the effectiveness of the response and communication can make a significant difference in managing the situation. Tourism businesses must activate their crisis response teams promptly and implement pre-established protocols. Swift communication with relevant authorities, local communities, and other stakeholders is essential to assess the situation accurately and make informed decisions. Dahil ang malinaw at napapanahong komunikasyon sa mga turista ay mahalaga para sa pamamahala ng mga inaasahan, pagbibigay ng mga alituntunin sa kaligtasan at pag-aalok ng mga alternatibong solusyon. Next is the resilience and recovery strategies. Building resilience is a key component of effective crisis management in the tourism industry. Diversifying tourism offerings, both in terms of destination and experiences, can help reduce the impact of crises that affect specific regions or sectors. Dahil ang sama-samang pagsisikap sa pagitan ng mga pampubliko at pribadong sektor ay maaaring palakasin ang mga kakayahan sa pamahala na nagpapatibay ng isang kolektibong pangako sa kaligtasan at pagbangon ng isang industriya. And now we're here to the second last of my topic at huwag maiinip dahil malaking tulong ito for our future dream jobs. So, mga ka-Journeymakers, let's go to the next one. The post-crisis evaluation and learning. After managing crisis, a true post-crisis evaluation is vital to learn from the experience and improve future crisis management strategies. The tourism industry should embrace a culture of continuous learning and adaptation, updating plans based on emerging trends and challenges. Ang pagbabahagi ng mga aral na natutunan sa industriya ay nagtataguyod ng pagbabahagi ng kaalaman at nagpapataas ng mga kasanayan sa buong sektor ng turismo. And the last one but not the least is the Focus Point International Offerings. This is a leading global critical event management company that provides a comprehensive range of health, security, and crisis management services utilizing cutting-edge technology and expert personnel. One of its flagship offerings is CAP Tripside Assistance, a specialized travel, medical, and security program catering to the unique needs of international travelers. Sa pamamagitan ng pagbibigay ng on-demand na tulong at walang bayad na paglikas, ginagarantihan ng planong ito ang mabilis at mahusay na suporta para sa mga individual na naharap sa mga medical o emergency pangseguridad habang naglalakbay. Ayan, that's all for my part mga ka-Journeymakers. And now, I wanna introduce to you our next podcaster. We'll give you another aral at kwentuhan to our next episode. No other than our very pretty SK Miss Laika Labasbas. Thank you for listening. Again, I am Majoy Rodrigo, passing the mic to Miss Laika Labasbas.
Hi guys! Mabuhay and welcome again to the Journeymakers Podcast, a podcast where fresh and following conversations happen. Another kwentuhan, chikahan with our new following topics. By the way, I'm Laika Labasbas, your second podcaster. So let's learn from each other to form new ideas that we all take as our new levels in tourism industry. Kaya ano pa iniintay natin mga katurismo? Tara, let's discover and try to answer the many questions out there. Good evening everyone! Pero parang mas masarap ata pakinggan kapag sinabing, good evening mga katurismo. Ayan, parang ang perfect sa pagdinig. Ngayon, simulan natin ang ating episode sa tanong na, what is tourism product? Tourism products are a combination of goods and services demanded by a tourist during travel to and stay at destination. These include natural, cultural, and man-made attractions, and also facilities such as hotels, transport, and ancillary services. So now, let's move on to the topic about intangible and tangible tourism products. Alam ko namang mga katurismo na narinig nyo na tong words na to or baka nga alam nyo na yung mga meaning nito. Pero, ganun pa man, ichichika ko pa rin or sasabihin ko pa rin sa inyo kung ano nga ba ang meaning ng bawat isa. So, let's start with tangible. Tangible tourism products are those that can be seen, touched, or experienced by tourists. They are often physical objects such as buildings, monuments, natural features, or works of art. And for intangible tourism products are actually the services that are being sold to the tourists, and it's not the goods. Services can be seen, smelled, felt, or touched. It can only be experienced. Kumbaga, itong intangible, ito yung mga emotions natin, feelings na nakukuha natin sa tangible tourism. So now mga katurismo, pag-usapan naman natin ang mga types of tourism products. Alam ko, may mga idea na kayo, or baka nga alam nyo na to. Pero sa gabing ito, o sa podcast na to, pag-usapan pa rin natin. Nanguna na rito ang natural tourism product. These are the products connected to the natural environment. Natural environment that constitutes natural resources, which is related to area, climate, settings, and the landscapes. These natural resources are the most important elements in a destination attractions, such as countryside, natural beauty, water, flora, and fauna. And also, included din dito yung wildlife, beaches, deserts, islands, or any scenic attractions. Pag-usapan naman natin ang pangalawang uri ng tourism product. Ito ang man-made tourism product. Man-made tourism is created by man for pleasure, leisure, and businesses. Man-made tourism products are further divided into three subtypes. The first one is cultural aspects include those man-made products which depict the culture of people, civilization, and are related to history, such as sites and areas of archaeological interest. Sample na lang dito is yung mga historical buildings and monuments, places of historical significance, gaya ng museums and art galleries, political and educational institutions, and religious institutions. Ang pangalawa ng mga subtypes is yung traditional aspects are related to traditions, syempre. Basically, it reflects the activities, beliefs, and life of the people of any particular region, such as fairs and festivals, arts and handicrafts, dance, music, and the last one is the folklore. Last but not the least is yung entertaining aspects. Entertaining aspects are those which provide some amusements, thrills, or an enjoyable feel to the tourists. These include amusement and recreation parks, sporting events, zoos, and oceanariums, cinemas and theaters, and nightlife or casinos. The third one is the symbolic tourism product. This type of tourism does not fall in any particular category because there are blend of nature and man, but the core attraction is nature. These are the natural resources that have been converted into a tourism product by maintaining and managing them. In other words, mga katurismo, man has taken initiative to preserve the natural aspects of Earth and also manage in a way to provide the best possible services to the tourists. For example, narito ang accommodation, parking facilities, and etc. Some examples are National Park, wildlife sanctuaries, flower festival, marine park, beer and water sports, and also ang botanical garden. Ayan agad mga katurismo. Natapos agad natin yung pangatlong uri. Ngayon, nasa last part na tayo. Hindi ko sinasabing last part ng ating episode or topic sa podcast na to ha. Ang ibig sabihin, last part lang ng ating unang topic. So, tapusin na natin. Ito na yung pang-apat na chika. Ang pang-apat daw is yung event-based tourism product. Ano nga ba ang event-based tourism product? Parang hindi siya familiar para sa atin. Kaya ito na, alamin na natin. Product here, events are the main source of attraction. Tourists come to observe and participate in the events. Events are temporary in nature and are often mounted in order to increase the number of tourists to a particular destination. Some events are for a short time, while others last for longer days. Sometimes events are mounted in those places where the tourists usually don't reach as usual exhibition. Some examples of event-based tourism include camel polo in Jaisalmer, Rajasthan, kite flying in Andamag, Gujarat, where tourists also participate and observe. Alam ko, medyo naboboring na kayo. Pero kapit lang. Ngayon, dumako naman tayo sa pangalawang episode ng ating topic, which is prerequisites to tourism product development. Ano nga ba ang prerequisite? What is prerequisite? Prerequisite is a thing that is required as prior condition for something else to happen or exist, mga katurismo. Successful tourism product development is premised on the following conditions. First one is accessibility, resources existing product, demand, policy in government, acceptability to tourism stakeholders, tourism in relation to the destination's overall economy. So now mga katurismo, pag-usapan naman natin kung ano nga ba ang accessibility sa tourism sector. Accessibility is the presence of adequate transport, infrastructure, and independence from foreign operators. Factors include daw mga katurismo ay yung trip frequencies, seat capacities, transportation connectivity in the destination. So now mga katurismo or mga listener, pag-usapan naman natin yung pangalawang bahagi, which is yung resources or existing product. This is the range and quality of tourism resources, diversification, geographic concentration, or distribution of tourism resources, supply and quality of human capital, evaluated by quality, authenticity, uniqueness, and composition. So now, let's discuss naman the third one, mga katurismo. Ito yung demand. Siyempre, pamilyar na sa atin yung word na demand kasi lagi na lang natin siyang naririnig or minsan mga ginagamit pa nga natin sa mga sentence natin. Pero, alamin naman natin kung ano nga ba ang pagka-meaning or pagbibigay ng pagkahulugan ng demand sa tourism sector. Demand is the scale and trends of current market demand. Forecast growth rate, ability of destination to offer products, matching the taste and the characteristic of the market, and also the choice on what to develop hinges on the existence of sufficient demand for the product. And for the policy in government, mga katurismo, under nito yung stability, openness to tourism, priority given to tourism development, form of government which indicates level of participation allowed in decision making, and last one is yung policy on tourism investment. So now mga listeners, konting kapit na lang, matatapos na din tayo. Konti na lang. Kaya pag-usapan na natin yung ika-apat na bahagi. Ito yung acceptability to tourism stakeholders. There are established criteria for the different classes of accommodations facilities. For example, and this must be met to obtain the desired accreditation status from the Department of Tourism. Ano nga ba yung accreditation na yan? Ano nga ba yung sinasabi nilang accreditation? Accreditation is a certification issued by the department to a tourism enterprise that officially recognizes It's having complied with the minimum standard for the operation of tourism facilities and services. Accreditation for hotels, resorts, and apartment hotels. Before, tawag lang sa mga hotel na napupuntahan natin, or parang justify o recognize lang nila bilang economy, standard, first class, or deluxe. Pero ngayon, nire-recognize na natin sila by star. Like pag 1 star, ito yung mga 25 to 40% lang na achievement. Yung characteristics niya is yung budget-minded lang. Yung pang saktuhan lang. And pang 2 star naman is yung 40 to 55%. Characteristic naman niya is more than basic accommodation. Ito yung parang pwede na, yung medyo maganda yung accommodation na ino-offer nila. And for 3 star naman is yung 55 to 70%. Characteristic nito is yung good level accommodation. Ito na siguro yung medyo may high-end na yung mga ganda na yung mga mga facilities, ganyan. And yung pang 4 star, ito yung 70 to 85. Characteristic is yung upscale in all areas. Accommodation is refined and stylish. Ito na medyo pamahal na parang kung may Okada, kasi ang Okada guys, parang kung i-define ko siya, parang siyang nasa 5 star na siya. So, bago yung Okada, may mga hotel na medyo mababa sa kanya. Ayun yung pang 4 star. And yung pang 5 star, gaya ng sinabi ko, is yung 5-star hotel, Okada, mga ganyan. Yung rate naman niya dito is yung 85 to 100%. Characteristic is yung luxury and sophisticated. Diba kanina pinag-usapan natin kung ano nga ba ang accreditation na binibigay sa isang accommodation. Ito naman, pag-usapan natin kung paano mai-invalid yung accreditation na binigay sa iyo. And take note lang mga katurismo ang Certificate of Accreditation is valid for 2 years lang. And pwede siyang ma-revoke or ma-invalid kapag nagkaroon ng misrepresentation when the establishment allows itself to be used for prostitution. Itong mga sabihin ko naman mga katurismo, ito yung parang criteria ng DOT para mabigyan ka ng Certificate of Accreditation. Una is yung arrival or departure. Kung maganda or maayos yung accessibility pagdating sa arrival and departure. Pangalawa is yung public areas, bedroom, syempre, kung komportable ba yan, kung maganda ba yan, bathroom of course, food and beverage, amenities and services, and also the business practices. Ayun guys, nasa last part na tayo ng ating episode 2. Kaya pag-usapan na natin tong huling bahagi para makapag-proceed na tayo o mapag-usapan na natin yung episode 3 ng ating podcast. Tourism in relation to the destination's overall economy. Under nito mga katurismo is yung share of tourism to gross domestic product, percentage of jobs created by tourism, destination stage, ayun na, nabubula na yung speaker, destination stage in the TALC, level and the quality of entrepreneurship, innovation, and education. Hello, mabuhay mga katurismo, mga kablak, mga mahal kong kababayan. OA tayo sa kababayan. So, pag-usapan na natin yung last part ng ating episode. Ito yung the Tourism Product Development Process. Ano nga ba yung Tourism Product Development Process? Tourism Product Development Process involves conceptualization, market research, planning, product design, infrastructure, development, marketing strategies, and continuous evaluation to ensure a compelling and sustainable visitor experience. It's all about tourism, or ito yung mga pagpaplano para mas mapaganda pa natin yung destination or tourist attraction na meron tayo para mabigyan natin ng satisfaction yung mga turista. Ayan, nangunguna at number 1 sa ating balota is yung identify tourism assets. A comprehensive understanding of which tourism products and services exist at a destination represents a critical early step in tourism development. This requires several survey instruments for gathering information from accommodation providers, tour operators, transportation providers, attractions like natural and cultural, and other components of the tourism supply chain in order to summarize destination supplies, trends, and gaps. The second one under the tourism product development process is to match assets with potential markets. Defining a target audience does not mean that only those visitors can purchase your products. It merely helps you identify who the majority of your visitors are. You can still have the visitors who do not fall within any of your target audience. And the third one is make the product more inviting, such as providing infrastructure. And according sa mga resources, mga katurismo, tourism is to a great extent dependent on the range and type of infrastructure available at the destination. Infrastructure is a core area of tourism industry and plays a distinctive role in development of this ever-expanding industry. Several countries have recognized the significance of infrastructure in the relation to the tourism industry, and their governments have coordinated their activities with the tourism industry by providing tourism-specific infrastructural facilities. The fourth one, mga katurismo, is to develop activities around the tourism assets. One example is to create a community-based tourism where local communities invite tourists into their communities, giving them insights into their culture and daily lives. It is a form of sustainable tourism that allows travelers to connect closely to the local community they visit. Travelers are able to experience the diversity and customs of another culture and to interact with the local community. Think about homestays, farm visits, cooking, and crafting together, storytelling, village tours, and more that show insights in their daily lives. Mga katurismo, nasa panglimang bahagi na tayo o process ng ating tourism development. Ito yung develop tour packages. Some other types of businesses you may like to consider could include other tourism businesses like accommodation, attractions, tours, events. And under naman ang other services, transport, parking, food and beverage outlets. And for the educational organization, under the tourism club and groups or sporting or hobby. Pang-anim at hindi mawawala sa ating balota, ang communicate benefits to target markets. Develop the promotional detail of the package. This may include an itinerary, syempre mga katurismo. Dapat i-make sure lang natin na available to in all partner websites and downloadable as a PDF. A second one is mutual online listing. Include content and imagery, photos, and videos that specifically match the experience. Next one is the combined displays in region and at the Visitor Information Center. Next is some joint logos or branding could enhance the promotions and demonstrate the professionalism behind the package. The last one is document the package and the operational and promotional process. If you set the rules of engagements up early, it may save your grief in the long run. Hello, mabuhay mga katurismo! Ito na tayo sa pinaka-last part. Ito na, legit, 100% totoo. Ayan. Lahat na ng mga words na nag-justify ng katotohanan. Ayan, nasabihin ko na. Or isipin nyo na dahil nasa last part na talaga tayo ng ating podcast o last part ng ating tourism product development process. Ito yung pang-pito at last ng ating balota. Ang ating panghuli at pang-pito sa ating development process is to develop a destination market organizations or DMO. Destination marketing organizations, aka conventions and visitors bureaus, are non-for-profit organizations that help promote and market local attractions, accommodation options, tourism services, transportation, associated retail stores, restaurants, and events, and more. Their primary long-term objective is to attract visitors to relative destinations and develop local economies as a result of increased tourism. And that's all para sa aking part sa podcast na ito. Oo na, ang dami ko nang sinabi mga katurismo. Sige na, ganyan naman kayo. Uy, magdrama ang speaker. Hindi tayo magdadrama for today's podcast, ha? Ayan, maraming salamat dahil umabot kayo sa hanggang sa part ko. Ngayon, ipapakilala ko naman ang next speaker para sa podcast na ito. Bibigyan ko kayo ng clue. Siya ay cute, gwapo, mabait, at matalino. Ayan, alam ko naman na may idea na kayo. Pero babanggitin ko pa rin. Siya si Simon M. Duardas. Tanan, tanan, Simon. Tanan. Si Simon na ang next speaker ng podcast na ito. Charot, hindi tayo magla-let's vote in. Medyo na-adopt ko lang ang ating let's vote in na kanta dahil sa mga kumakampanya. Just kidding. The mic is yours, Simon Duardas. Let's score. And thank you ulit mga katurismo. Once again mga katurismo, Simon M. Duardas para sa ating next speaker ng podcast na ito.
Hello, what's up you guys and welcome to the Journeymakers Podcast. And now I've got a brand new topic for you para sa ating kwentuhan session. Ready na ba kayo? Baka inaantok pa kayo? Shake, shake, shake because we will showcase some of the most innovative and highlighted topics in the tourism and hospitality industry. I'm Simon Duardas, your third podcaster, so tara, let's discover and try to answer the many questions out there. So to start our next lesson, this is the principles of the tourism product development. According sa United Nations World Tourism Organization and the European Travel Commission in 2011, sa kanilang handbook on tourism product development, they identified product development principles. This covered infrastructure, attractions, activities, amenities, accommodations, and facilities connected to satisfying visitors' needs. The first one on the list is the relevance. So in making the tourism product development, it should be abided on the context of your overall tourism development strategic planning. Hindi dapat lumihis sa pinagplanuhan nyo ang paggagawa ng tourism product development. It should be done in the context of it so that you will be guided and you will be directed to the right path. The next one on the list is all about sustainability. So tourism product development, we should follow the principles of having sustainable tourism development. Because it's all about creating and maintaining functional tourism industry sa isang particular na location. And we should be ensuring ourselves that the industry that we are in is as sustainable as possible. Meaning, it should preserve natural wildlife, avoid harming local culture, and etc. And we must provide social and economic benefits para sa local residents natin. So pagdating naman sa circuits and routes are a good way to organizing your attractions, transportations, accommodations, food, activities, and etc. by using geographic locations or themes. Since yung mga ganitong klase ng principles, makakatulong sa atin para ma-highlight yung interrelationships and common tourism opportunities sa mga cities or municipalities na part ng isang destination. Kasi matutulungan nitong ma-identify how the LGUs in a certain destinations are linked together as a tourism value chain. The next one is the market knowledge. So in order for us to know what kind of tourism products that we are developing, we should have a keen understanding sa mga various market segments tulad ng profile, characteristics, tasks, and even the trends. Since tourism, meron tayong mga market segments na available, they're very significant and they require products and services na dapat unique to the detail. Katulad sa mga leisure tourists, business travelers, conference attendees, golfers, sa mga single women, pati na rin sa LGBT market. Meron din naman tayong mga student travelers, backpackers, surfers, ayan, may mga families and honeymooners. And also, available din ito para sa mga people with disabilities. So, example lang ito, pagdating sa provision of accommodation, kapag ang target mo ay business travelers, the room unit must have a cable TV, Wi-Fi, internet, telephones, or phone and laptop chargers, and etc. So on the other hand, if yung target market mo naman is for leisure tourists, the room does not have to be that big. As long as may mga panligo, shower, Filipino budget leisure travelers kasi generally spend the whole day sightseeing, at paglalabas-labas kung saan-saan. They get a room just to have a place to stay for the night. The next part is the product knowledge. So, dapat mo isaalang-alang pagdating sa pag-aano ng tourism product development. You must know the full range of the tourist resources that your place has to offer. So, you can take advantage of what you have in your area. You can develop some activities around your area since your natural assets of your destinations are vital in making it possible. For the next one naman, product market match. You know what? You must identify yung mga tourism products na nakakasatisfy sa mga needs and wants ng ating target market. We have to be mindful yung mga demands na hinahanap sa isang tour packages. So, definitely, different markets will have different sets of expectations. For example na lang yung mga casino high rollers. Price is no object for them. But for us Filipino domestic travelers, we really put price value as the main deciding factor. So, katulad na ng specific types of mga tourists, meron tayong set of expectations na kailangan ma-met, di ba? As you know, satisfaction can be achieved when yung actual performance experience delivers such expectations. For example na lang yung adventure tourists sa Canada. Meron silang mga hinahanap na standards katulad nito. Attractively sited cabins or accommodations in a lakeside or another attractive natural setting. For full American plan or housekeeping facilities with restaurants available in the area. Such as on-site recreational activities including swimming, boating, and hiking. And also yung the well-kept property mainly in a natural state with some wild-looking landscaping and flowers as needed as possible. For the last part is their value added. Hindi lang yung price but also yung overall value para sa kanilang pera. For the hubs and spokes, we should be identifying areas within the destinations that are very appropriate for a specific type of product development. So in this one naman, we should be developing flagship attractions or hubs to create the spokes na tinatawag nila around the hub by bundling a range of attractions or activities, even creating tourism routes and organizing festivals and events para alam natin kung ano yung specific type of product development sa isang area na yon. Hindi tayo basta-basta maglalagay ng hindi appropriate dun sa particular place. For the next one naman is the variety. So, we should be incorporating diverse activities to heighten visitor satisfaction and to make the destination seem to be new all the time. So, mangyayari lang yun if we are to collaborate with several goals and providing maps na nagpapakita sa tourists that there are various attractions along a particular route na dinadaanan nila. Para naman maka-open up sila and ma-enjoy nila yung sceneries and kung ano pa yung ina-offer para sa kanila, di ba? For the next one is the tourist involvement. So, syempre, tourists are becoming more and more aware of their responsibilities. Kaya nga, nagkakaroon sila ng satisfaction if they know how they can contribute to preserving a place's environmental and cultural identity. Next principle is the central role of the government. So as we all know, we can ask for help for the government to act as an investor, promoter, and even a facilitator. In their role, included dito yung information dissemination about the opportunities, planning using designated tourism development areas, and facilitating and supporting their realization by the private sector, pati na rin our communities. Pwede rin sila mag-provide ng direct financial investment support sa mga grants or incentives para sa mga undeveloped areas. And then next one is the importance ng mga local government units. As we all know, local government units plays a vital role in bringing TPS to fruition and require current strong knowledge of changing tourist demand. So in this area, the control and promotion of tourism enterprise have been designated or delegated to the LGUs from the national government since nagkaroon tayo ng local government code passage noong 1991. Maaaring makatulong dito yung local government unit para mas mapabilis ang tourism and product development natin. Next one is the dedicated TPD function. Since besides working closely with the tourism marketing bodies, destination tourism authorities must also build our tourism product development activities. The essence naman of the tourism product is that it is already a bundle of tourism goods and services offered to the purchase market. And then, in destination tourism authorities, sila na magpapack ng mga tourist attractions for sale through marketing channels such as yung mga tour operators. Ayan. Next principle is the stakeholder participation. In this area, consultation, coordination, and collaborations are the key to TPD consultation. And also, it will be all relevant to the stakeholders, wherein as coordination with all government levels and their private sectors, and community representatives in cooperation with the neighboring tourism administration para ma-achieve yung mutual benefit na gusto nating mangyari. So, para ma-ensure, we are ensuring all relevant stakeholders' opinions and aspirations at all costs and level para na ma-factor out natin yung tourism product development plans natin ng maayos. Next part is the long-term planning na tinatawag natin sa principles. Pagdating dito, implementation of TPD plans requires long-term vision, mid-term strategy, pati na rin ang planning. Sometimes, meron tayong short-term action plans which can lead to support responsibility to each task identified. Since in this area, programs can be monitored and adjusted as necessary on an annual basis para hindi lang isahan, hindi lang isang bagsakan na mangyari. Meron tayong development and meron tayong considerations na nagaganap dito para mas mapadevelop natin siya through time. And then, zoning na tinatawag. Ito yung dividing a destination into separate TPD zones in which it can be useful in letter A, expressing each region's strengths. Thereby, we can create a set of identities within the country and then spreading the socio-economic benefits of tourism around the whole country. Next one naman is the investment promotion. In this, we can encourage investment by formulating a cohesive and integrated development plan for all tourism products and disseminating a product investment portfolio. Investment promotion is an essential when the local government unit, for example, it does not have an adequate financial resources to support the tourism product development. Dito, one special investment mechanism that is being promoted by the Philippine government is yung tinatawag na public-private partnership. Sa dito, sa tourism, along with agriculture and agribusiness and fishery, meron ding creative industries, knowledge-based services na pwede natin makipag-partneran para mas mapatupad ito yung investment promotions na tinatawag natin. Next part is the capacity building. So, makikita dito, we can facilitate implementation by creating vocational training and managerial educational programs that produces the human capital needed by the planned tourism product development. So, sa part na to, makakagawa tayo ng iba't ibang klase ng educational and training programs na makakatulong sa Philippines para ma-meet natin yung international standards na tinatawag. Since we are creating capacities para makapag-create ng human capital, magiging essential ito sa pagyabong ng tourism product development natin. This is to enable us Filipino workers sa tourism and hospitality sector to compete on equal footing with their counterparts sa ASEAN countries as well. And then, meron din tayong compatibility with destination branding na tinatawag. So here, planners must ensure that the tourism product mix elements do not create conflict. It may not be a wise idea. For example, ito yung allow natin yung casino to operate in a destination that is well established as the pilgrimage site. So, next part naman ay ang holistic approach na tinatawag natin. Base dito, tourism products can only succeed if the other element are taken into account: access, accommodation, community attributes to tourism, and etc. So, base dito sa nakuha namin, ayon kay Minotti 2011, he added sustainable principles sa lahat ng mga nabanggit na he says that TPD or the tourism product development should be, the first one is, should be authentic and indigenous and reflects the unique attributes of the destination. Next one naman is to have the supports of the host community. The third one is to respect the natural and social cultural environments by not damaging this in any way possible, be it differentiated from competitors or to avoid me too or copycat developments. And yung last niya na sinabi is be of sufficient scale to make a significant economic contribution but not so large as to create high economic leakage na tinatawag. Ayun lang pagdating sa iba't ibang klase ng principles. Then, pwede na tayong dumako sa next part natin, which is all about the tourism product matching process. Ano nga ba nilalaman ng tourism product matching process? So in this area, ipapaliwanag natin that product matching is a kind of marketing strategy na involved dito yung pag-align ng isang company's product sa mga needs at mga preference ng target audience nila. It involves identifying the specific characteristics of a product that appeal to a particular customer segment and promoting those features to attract them. So, gaya na nga dito sinabi, we can connect the characteristics, the motivations, and also the expectations ng market segments sa suitable tourism product na gusto nating ipamahagi or ibenta or ipalaganap sa mga market segment natin para ma-ensure na yung sustainability products should be matched with the development opportunities at ang objective ng host destination na tinatawag. Base pa dito, we must be able to identify the tourism products that may satisfy yung mga kagustuhan, yung mga kailangan ng mga target markets natin. Pero be mindful lamang sa mga hinahanap ng market natin sa isang tour package. Different materials will have different sets of expectations. For example, na dito, sabi dito, to casino high rollers, price is no object, but Filipino domestic travelers put price value as the main decision factor. And next one is yung specific types of tourists will have a set of expectations that must be met. Satisfaction is achieved when such expectations are met by actual delivery of performance or the experience. Meron tayong example na parang sa isang tour company may in-offer silang range of different tours including cultural, adventure, or budget tours. So in order for us to do that, by understanding yung needs and preference ng customer, yung company, they can effectively match each customer with the product and kung ano yung best suited for them. Kunyari, sa isang customer, interested sila sa isang adventure activity such as hiking or maybe rafting. Yung company, pwede silang mag-recommend ang adventure tour that includes these activities, these kinds of activities na sinabi ko kanina. So, also, alternatively, meron din mga customer na naghahanap ng mga budget-friendly options. Ito yung mga company, pwede silang mag-suggest ng budget tour na included yung mga affordable accommodations and transportations. So by effectively matching those kinds of products sa ating mga customer, yung tour companies can provide a customized and personalized experience na nami-meet yung needs and pwedeng ma-exceed yung expectation ng target markets nila. And by that, circular mangyayari yon if ever nagustuhan ng tourism market, yung mga tourism products na pwede nating i-offer based sa kagustuhan nila, magiging cycle yun kung saan mas magiging develop yun and mas magiging profound yung sinasabi nating tourism product matching process. Yun lamang yung process na tinatawag natin para mas maging circulated yung sales, incomes, and development na tinatawag sa tourism industry. Yun lamang. And next part of our report will be reported by one of my colleagues or good friend of mine. She is one of the most talented and most gorgeous person. May we all welcome Base Bea Ferrer. Thank you very much for listening to my report.
Hi, listeners! Welcome to the Journeymakers Podcast. Kumusta? Okay pa ba ang lahat? Because we still have remaining topics to talk about. So, please make sure to tune in to our daily podcast. A podcast where fresh and flowing conversations happen. I'm bpft, your fourth podcaster, and please stay with us for more aral na may kasamang kwentuhan. Tara, let's discover and try to answer the many questions out there. Ngayong natutunan na natin ang iba't ibang topic previously discussed by our other journey makers, we will immediately hop on naman sa dalawang subtopics ng tourism product development. Kapit lang ng maigi as we're drawing near towards the end of our journey. Sit back, relax, and immerse yourself to the other upcoming chapters of this podcast. Beginning my part with the components of tourism product development plan, una sa lahat, let's briefly discuss why planning for tourism product development is important. Bago natin tuluyan talakayin ang mga components o nilalaman nito. Simpleng-simple lang naman, sa lahat ng mahalagang bagay, dapat lang naman na pinagpaplanuhan, right? So in this context, a tourism company's revenue will increase if they have the ability to provide products that are specifically designed to meet the needs of tourists as time goes by. So by offering a wider range of items, travel agencies can attract more and returning customers, as well as extend their stay and expenditure at popular tourist destinations. At lahat ng ito ay posibleng may sasakatuparan through the making of tourism product development plan. Wala nang paligoy-ligoy pa. Dumako na tayo sa components of tourism product development plan, in which this includes 7 main components, namely development strategy, development zones, scale and form of development, policy and intervention initiatives, economic analysis or funding of new tourism product developments, marketing plan, and lastly, the action plan. Pasadahan natin saglit isa-isa, Journeymakers. Unang-una na dyan ang development strategy. From the word itself, right? Strategy. Hindi mo bubuo ang plano kung wala tayong strategiya paano masasakatuparan ang mga bagay-bagay. Isipin nyo na lang ang mga tropa nyo, mga ka-journeymakers. Kung magpaplano tayo ng gala o ng outing, syempre, may pangmalakasan tayong strategy. Nandyan yung naghahanap ng venue, nandyan yung nag-handle ng finances, nandyan yung nagsasuggest ng mga kakainin, and so on and so forth. Sa tourism product development, malamang sa malamang, ay napaka-importante at nararapat lang naman nakasama to sa components. For a development strategy is essentially a thorough and well-organized plan that manages challenges or maximizes the use of resources. It coordinates the efforts of several parties and guides the expansion of tourism in a destination in a sustainable way. It is a dynamic tool that adapts to new circumstances and ensures the success of travel-related initiatives for years to come. Dahil hindi lang naman pang short-term goal or instant gratification rather ang habol natin, lalo na when it comes to environment na tayo rin naman ang nakikinabang at the end of the day. Pangalawa na dyan ang development zones. Gayahin na natin, gayahin na natin yung analogy natin kanina na outing ng tropa. Ang development zones naman ang designated area kung saan gaganapin ng marming. So, in the context of tourism product development plan, development zones which offer a framework for planned expansion. Tandaan natin lagi yung keyword na zones equate to framework, alright? This also helps resource optimization and equally execute sustainable tourism practices, for these are essentially an essential part of a tourism product development strategy. By striking a balance between economic development and the preservation of the environment and local culture, they help make a destination's tourism business successful in overall aspects. Okay, so next up is the scale and form of development. I'm not going to lie, medyo mahirap isipan to ng analogy na outing ng barkada. Pero para sa easier flow of understanding, ang component na to refers to the balance and how the development would come out in tangible forms. So meaning in terms of development, kino-consider natin dyan yung mga factors like aesthetic considerations, economic sustainability, adaptability and flexibility, regulatory compliance, and most importantly, ang environmental impact ng isang development. Dahil syempre, hindi lang naman dapat na maganda lang sa paningin or basta-basta lang tayo develop, especially when upon evaluation, makikita natin na this development will only do more harm than good. Fourth component naman ng Tourism Product Development Plan ang policy and intervention initiatives. Gaya nga nasabi ko kanina, di ba mga ka-journeymakers, there are tons of things to consider when we aim to develop tourism products or even the sites. Remember how I mentioned regulatory compliance earlier? So, this sort of expounds the idea, Policy and intervention initiatives joins the crime scene when it is visible and obvious na either the environment or the host community or both would be put at stake when things will do more harm than good, which is why this component policy and intervention initiatives, its main job or essence or ambag sa Tourism Product Development Plan, it helps set rules, encourage cooperation, direct development initiatives, and deal with important concerns including community involvement, cultural preservation, and what else? Environmental sustainability. Kasi itong component na to ang naglalatag ng foundation required for the creation of successful and sustainable tourism products. Those are the main things and goals that we are all after, right? Dahil ang resilience at general performance nga naman of a destination's tourism business are obviously improved kapag pinag-iisipan and if a well-designed set of policies exists within the framework. Moving on to our fifth component, no other than the economic analysis or funding of new tourism product developments. Ito, madali na lang ipaliwanag to mga ka-Journeymakers. Siyempre, isipin mo na lang, sasama ka ba sa gala na walang maayos na financial analysis? Kung magkano yung ambagan? Kung di mo alam magkano yung pamasahe? O hindi mo alam baka ikaw pala yung magbabayad ng pulutan ng tropa, di ba? Kaya ganun din ka-importante ang role ng component na to sa Tourism Product Development Plan. The success, durability, and financial viability of plans for developing tourism products, they are guaranteed by an economic analysis of funding requirements. It provides guidance to decision makers on prudent resource allocation, investment attraction, and risk management. All of this or ultimately supports the destination's economic expansion. Second to the last component goes by the name of marketing plan. So, ika nga nila, the more the merrier, right? Sa galaan ng outing ng mga kapwa natin Journeymakers dyan, the more creative we are in marketing our outing, of course, the more people would like to join. But that is if we're aiming for lots of Journeymakers to be with us. Pero in this context, what is the essence nga ba ng marketing plan sa Tourism Product Development Plan? Well, essential lang naman ang marketing plan for it guarantees that the recently developed products are 1. Successfully advertised, 2. Draw tourists, 3. Bring in money, and 4. Support the general prosperity and sustainability of the destination's tourism industry. Diba? So, as you can see, especially if we're aiming for the return of investment in the shoes of the investors and suppliers, of course, it is just and right that they expect to reap what they sow. We market the tourism products mainly to attract and encourage visitors, build a brand image, or adapt to market trends. And isa na sa mga pinaka-importante, of course, ay yung to gain revenue. Last component of all, after combining all of the components and their role in the planning of tourism product development, ilalatag na natin ang plano mga insan. Imimekos-mekos na natin ang mga components para magawa ang huli and probably the most important component, which is the action plan. So, babalik tayo sa pinaka-umpisa mga ka-Journeymakers. Isipin nyo na lang, gaano ka-importante ba ang action plan sa outing o sa gala ng mga tropa? Though we do not do it formally, pag naglalatag tayo ng plano, whether we are aware of it or not. For example na lang, by summarizing all the things discussed by your circle, right? Nilalatag natin sa isang bagsakan ng message ang announcements, reminders, rules, and regulations, and obligations na dapat tandaan ng bawat isa. So this same goes with the importance of action plan as a component of tourism product development plan. Sa madaling salita, it is an action plan that is an instrumental in turning strategic visions into tangible results. To ensure the success and longevity of the destination's tourist initiatives, it offers a methodical, coordinated, and responsible way to carry out the many parts of a tourism product development strategy. Whew, what a discussion! I don't know if it's obvious, pero I'm so hyped up in sharing this knowledge sa iba pa nating mga ka-Journeymakers. Unat-unat muna mga insan as we move this podcast further to the second topic, which is the development strategies for different types of destinations. Alright, so according to UNWTO, or what we all know as the United Nations World Tourism Organization, the choice of tourism products development strategy will depend on the type of destinations. Kasi if there's something we should know about this one, it's that the same development strategies won't really apply to every tourist destinations. Kung tayo nga kino-consider natin ang bawat isa sa pagpaplano ng outing. What more pa kaya in this context, right? Kaya naman, the different destinations all around the world are categorized into at least 8 types or classifications of destinations, in which we will begin with mature destinations, in which UNWTO states that the main challenge for these types of destination is to maintain tourist interest by 1. Upgrading current products, 2. Adding new products, and 3. A well-developed and modified promotion. So, mature destinations, for everyone's information, are those that have a history of drawing tourists. These certain types of destinations have a well-established tourism infrastructure, and a wide variety of attractions are considered mature. Some examples we can think of is the famous Paris, France, or Rome, Italy, and the Big Apple, which is the New York City in USA, among many others. Alright, so next type of destination naman is what we call the newly emerging destinations. From the word itself, newly emerging. So, mga newbie pa sila. Sila yung mga bagong salta sa tropa. This can be characterized when it has the factors of 1. Having limited tourism infrastructure, 2. A small stock of tourism products, and 3. If the market or us, the public, has little or no knowledge about it. So the main development strategies laid out by UNWTO for these types of destination includes 1. Providing primary service for tourists, 2. Encouraging visitation through easier visa policies, like for example, visa on arrival. 3. Provision of good air access and internal transportation, mapa international or local, and that the host communities with this type of destination should choose a natural, cultural, or historical resource that can become the flagship attraction by imposing market research and feasibility to establish the viability of offering the destination to foreign markets in the absence of a developed domestic market. They can also encourage community-based tourism projects, have the local and national government provide incentives for foreign direct investments, and by providing training and assistance to small and medium enterprises or SMEs and startups. So some examples of newly emerging destinations are Rwanda, Montenegro, and Oman, among many others. Third type of destination is destination with fragile or fragile environments. Okay, so when we say fragile environments, we can distinguish these environments and landscapes if they are delicate to human influence and kailangan ng cautious maintenance in order to maintain their natural integrity. The ecologies and cultural traditions of mountainous, desert, savanna, and Arctic environments are what we call sensitive or fragile, with seasonality being a defining feature of these vulnerable settings. Understandable lang naman if many human activities are restricted to specific periods of the year. So for them to be at least on the level of mature destinations, the strategies they need to develop as according or suggested by the UNWTO includes tapping local people as tour guides who have specialized knowledge about their community, or develop community-based tourism projects, incorporate biodiversity specialists in planning so carrying is not exceeded, by focusing on nature-based tourism products, and by also using tourism to create awareness among the local community about the value of their environment. So, some of the destination with fragile environment goes by the names of Antarctica, Maldives, Amazon rainforest, shout out Amazon, and Machu Picchu in Peru, among many other. Alright, moving on with another type of destination are those countries with image problems overseas. Syempre, as journey makers, we can be honest in this podcast, right? And we should be bold enough to have controversial topics. So personally, do you think Philippines is one of those countries under this type of destination? With the previous issue regarding the controversial plagiarized tourism promotional video of Department of Tourism, we can't help but think, what could the world thought about it, right? Anyway, it's a food for thought at iiwanan ko na yung tanong na yan sa iba pa nating mga ka-journey makers na magpahanggang ngayon ay walang sawang nakikinig. Thank you so much guys. Shout out to you all, especially sa ating profound listeners, and they call themselves BSTM32. You guys rock. Alright, so going back, countries with image problems overseas is quite self-explanatory. But just for the sake of expounding more on the idea, this type of destination frequently deals with issue relating to opinions that could have an impact on their travel and tourism sector. Isa ito sa mga obstacles na can be the result of misunderstandings, unfavorable media coverage, safety concerns, or political unrest. It's worth noting to remember though that opinions can shift over time and that efforts to resolve problems and highlight positive features can help to enhance a nation's reputation, which is why some of the development strategies proposed by UNWTO to countries with this type of destination includes making tourist attractions unique and of high quality. Second, by capitalizing on being more affordable or offer good value for money, and by using expats and the country's overseas population to promote the place. North Korea, Israel, Mexico, not the one in Pampanga guys, alright, and South Africa, namely, are some of the countries with this type of destination. Destinations naman with dominant product. Itong mga destinations naman na to, certain products from them are so iconic or is massively produced in amount that no any other country could imitate. That these products can't help but be linked to the country of origin. They typically have a focal point that defines its tourism appeal, be it an important feature, attraction, or experience. This star product becomes a major part of the destination's identity and the point of interest for tourists, kagaya na lang sa Las Vegas, USA, in which its dominant product is known to be entertainment and casino. In Maldives, the overwater bungalows and luxury resorts, the romantic canals and historic architecture when it comes to Venice, Italy, cliffside villages, and sunset views in Santorini, Greece, and I could go on and on. But here in our country, we could be identified by our fine and white sand beaches and hidden paradises, ika nga nila, na talaga namang patok na patok, mapalokal or international tourist. Kaya naman, additional development strategy pa ng UNWTO for this type of destination is to develop tourism resources other than the primary resources location of the country, cater to a broader range of markets, and improve the environmental quality of the resort. Destinations specializing in sports and activities. So yes, we also have this classification. Kumbaga sa Pilipinas, we're quite known for sports such as boxing and basketball, as well as beauty pageants in terms of activities. So this is a factor then in boosting a country or destination's tourism exposure. But mostly in general, these are the type of destinations that travelers are looking for when it comes to certain adventures, leisure activities, or sports-related experiences in hopes of finding what they're looking for at sports-focused destinations, which is why they can utilize and consider the development strategies proposed by UNWTO, such as ensuring safety, providing basic infrastructure and service for the public, and by also providing facilities and amenities for outdoor tourism activities like maps, signs, rental outdoor gear, bicycles, and etc. Finally, final year and finaliest, is the last type of destination which goes by what we call the destinations rich in history. Huwag na tayong lumayo pa. The Philippines could be our best example, provided the historical experience our motherland went through, from the hands of the Spaniards, Japanese, Americans, and now to the hands of our fellow Filipinos. Dito pa lang sa Intramuros, we can definitely see tourists of different nationalities roaming around what was once called the Walled City. UNWTO hopes that other countries can consider their development strategies by focusing on the interpretation or the authenticity and roots of origin of these destinations, as these elements separates a tourist site from one another. Ito kumbaga, yung identity nila, so it's understandable na pagtibayin pa ito, and this can happen by developing museums, of course. What is an easy way you can get to know a place if not for exhibits and museums, right? Scheduling events and festivals around the history of the place is also another strategy at play. And that's a wrap! It has been such a lengthy conversation and discussion with you guys. And of course, I really do hope na yung mga insan nating journey makers dyan have learned at least a thing or two as we wrap up today's podcast journey. But before we conclude, syempre naman, allow me to present our next and last podcaster who will lead you through yet another exciting episode as Chalisa de la Riva dives into product diversification and examples of product development practices. Get ready as you continue this podcast journey. I have no doubt you are going to be in for a treat. Thank you for joining us today. If you have caught the travel bug or have questions, don't hesitate to connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at the Journeymakers Podcast. Until next time, happy travels. This was Bea Pereira passing the mic to Chalisa de la Riva.
Hello everyone! Again and again, welcome to the Journeymakers Podcast. You know, we are already here at the last two remaining topics. I am Chalisa de la Riva, your last but not the least podcaster, who will give you more interesting topics in the tourism and hospitality industry. Tara, samahan niyo ako to discover the product diversification strategy and examples of product development. Product diversification in tourism. Diversification strategies lead to more tourism sustainable development in terms of protection of natural resources and value-added products and services, as well as strengthening linkages between tourism and other regional industrial sectors. Bilang isang multi-sectoral at multi-stakeholder na diskarte para sa pagbawi ng mga destinasyon ng turismo ay ikinategorya bilang isang bahagi ng isa sa mga alternatibong landas para sa muling pagsasaayos ng destinasyon sa mga coastal destination. Here are some of the strategies. Number 1 is horizontal diversification in the tourism industry. It involves expanding a company's product or service offerings by adding new offerings that are related to its existing tourism business. Binibigyang daan ng diskarting ito ang mga negosyo sa turismo na gamitin ang kanilang kasalukuyang expertise, resources, and customer base upang lumikha ng mga karagdagang daloy ng kita at mas mapahusay pa ang pangkalahatang karanasan sa isang kumpanya. Number 2. Vertical diversification in the tourism industry. It involves expanding a company's products or services along the supply chain, either backward towards suppliers or forward towards customers. Ang diskarte na ito ay nagbibigay daan sa isang negosyo sa turismo na makakuha ng higit na kontrol sa iba't ibang aspeto ng karanasan sa paglalakbay at maaaring humantong sa pag-increase ng operational efficiency, pag-improve ng customer service at pagkakaroon ng potential cost savings sa isang kumpanya. Number 3. Diagonal diversification in the tourism industry. It involves expanding a company's product or service offerings in a direction that is both related and unrelated to its existing business. Pinagsasama ng diskarting ito ang mga elemento ng parehong horizontal and vertical diversification. At binibigyan daan din ito ang mga negosyo sa turismo na siyasatin ang mga bagong pagkakataon at market na gumamit ng kanilang mga kasalukuyang existing resources, expertise, and customer base na estratehiya. Diagonal diversification can be a strategic way to manage risk and seize growth opportunities. When deciding what new product areas to diversity, the following criteria must be considered. Number 1. Quality of tourism resources relative to product requirements. It refers to how well the available tourism assets and attractions in a particular destination align with the needs and expectations of the target market or tourist product. Number 2. Suitability of facilities and accommodations for the market segments that will be attracted. It refers to how well the available amenities, services, and lodging options in a destination align with the needs, preferences, and expectations of specific target market segments. Number 3. Anticipated investment required to enter the market. It refers to the estimated financial resources and capital that a business or entity expects to allocate in order to establish a presence and participate in a particular market or industry. Number 4. Expected return on investment and likely per visitor yield is a measure of the anticipated financial gain or loss relative to the amount of money invested in a business venture or project. Number 5. Compatibility with existing markets you serve. It refers to the degree to which a product, service, or business strategy is aligned with the characteristics, preferences, and needs of the markets that a company or organization currently serves. 6. Your own relevant knowledge base about the new product area. So for the last topic, the examples of product development practices. Number 1 is to market research. Conducting through market research to understand the preferences, interests, and behaviors of travelers is essential. Maaaring kabilang dito ang mga survey, focus group, at pagsusuri ng data para matukoy ang mga umuusbong na trends at demand sa henerasyon na ito. Diversifying accommodation options. Developing and promoting various types of accommodations such as boutique hotels, vacation rentals, hostels, and eco-friendly lodges to cater to different traveler preferences and budgets. Ito ay isang madiskarteng pamamaraan na nagsasangkot ng pagpapalawak at pag-aalok ng iba't ibang pagpipilian sa variety ng lodging upang patugunan ang iba't ibang kagustuhan, pangangailangan at segment ng market. Ang discarding ito ay nagbibigay daan sa mga negosyo ng hospitality gaya ng mga hotel o vacation rental na makahikayat ng mas malawak na hanay ng mga customer at umangkop sa pagbabago ng mga uso sa merkado. Number 3. Destination development. Collaborating with local governments and stakeholders to improve infrastructures, enhance attractions, and ensure the sustainable growth of destinations. Ito ay tumutukoy sa estratehikong pagpaplano, pamamahala at pagpapahusay ng isang partikular na heograpiyang lugar o lokasyon upang mahikayat ang mga bibisita, to stimulate economic growth, and to create a positive and sustainable impact on the community. Number 4. Experience-based tourism. Designing and promoting unique experience-based tourism products such as culinary tours, adventure sports, cultural immersions, and wildlife safaris. For the travelers, it is driven by the idea that it seeks more than just passive observation. They desire meaningful and transformative experiences that leave a lasting impact. Number 5. Technology integration. Embracing technology to enhance the visitor experience, such as mobile apps for navigation, virtual reality tours, and augmented reality guides. It involves leveraging digital tools, systems, and innovation to enhance the overall guest experience, streamline operations, and stay competitive in a rapidly evolving market. For some other practices, number 1, design activities that are suitable for the place's natural assets. Number 2, take advantage of the terrain and other natural features such as zipline or hanging bridges on hilly areas. Number 3, take advantage of man-made features. Number 4, turn disasters in a tourist product. Number 5, create products from events. Number 6, if the place has no distinctive natural assets, develop man-made attractions. Number 7, high-touch strategy. Number 8, high-tech strategy. Number 9, invent a new product class. Number 10, find use for a negative attribute. Number 11, use of eco-brand. Number 12, advocacy. Number 13, localize. Number 14, celebrate local products. Number 15, complement, don't compete. Number 16, enhance experience by incorporating other activities into main activity. Number 17, find a niche. Number 18, provide certificates with accompanying photographs to create a sense of reaching a milestone. Number 19, discover the story behind the attraction and use if or interpretation. Number 20, use unlike places and materials. So for the example, the Hyatt Hotel. For the scenario, the Hyatt Hotels has developed various prototype hotels around the world, which are free from regulations. This example illustrates how hotels can engage in product development practices to enhance their offerings and stay competitive in the dynamic of the hospitality industry. The key is to stay attuned to guest preferences, industry trends, and emerging technologies to continually innovative and improve the overall guest experience.